Welcome to This Must Be Heard, a recurring podcast featuring discussions of Delaware County community colleges, events, achievements, and initiatives. Today, Shonda Stevens and Jaime talk with our guests, graduating New Media Lab co-executive producers Tashea White and Raven Amaro, about their experiences with the New Media Lab. Thank you for listening. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of This Must Be Heard. Today, my co-host Jaime and I will be interviewing our graduating co-executive producers, Raven Amaro and Tashea White. Welcome, and thank you guys for coming.
Hey, thank you. It's good to have a conversation with you about this topic.
Yes, thank you for having me as a guest. It's my first time as a guest, so it's pretty cool.
Awesome. We are going to move right along with our first question. Tashea, how has being a part of the New Media Lab impacted your overall DCCC experience?
Okay, so I would say one main thing that changed was that it connected me to a college. So when I started at DCCC, the extent of my involvement with the college was really just my classes. I went from class to class, and then, home and classwork was just all that I did. But then when I joined the NML, it kind of helped me to meet new people and develop new skills. And then that opened up new opportunities with the college. So for example, because we do so much hosting and public speaking with the NML, it helped me to kind of cultivate public speaking and communication skills in a low stakes way. And I didn't even realize over time that I was kind of getting more confident with that. But it allowed me to demonstrate to the college, as I got better with it, that I was capable of speaking on behalf of the college. And so now I've been given opportunities to speak on behalf of the college in ways that I really don't think I would have had were it not for the NML.
That's a very mature response. Not a lot of people tend to think of things that way, and to have not necessarily a goal to begin with, but to form a goal over time to speak on behalf of the college and the students themselves is very admirable.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's not something everyone is prepared to do, but once people tend to find their calling with that, it feels more like you're having that college experience of, yeah, I'm a part of this community. This is who I am. I am a part of the school. And it's fantastic to hear that you have found that with the New Media Lab.
Yes,
and it's definitely something I feel like I would like to mirror with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And given that, what new doors have been open to you because of the New Media Lab?
So two in particular I can think of. One is that I've been able to represent the college on lobby day on multiple occasions, 2 separate occasions, I can say. And another was I was able to speak when our college did our commitment to community, celebrating all of these scholarship winners last year. And so that was a speech that I was able to write and then give that was recorded and as part of the presentation they gave for the commitment to community celebration. So those are 2 opportunities that I had that I really don't think I would have had were it not for my participation in the NML, and it kind of showing the college that I was capable of speaking and communicating.
And I feel like that's also a big self-accomplishment too, because I know I did like a public speaking communications class last semester, and being in a room of 12 people compared to a room of so many other people who are being influenced by what you're talking about is so impactful. So it's great to hear that being in this club has opened those doors to you and shown you a little bit more that's out there.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, Raven, how has being a part of the New Media Lab impacted your overall experience?
So for me, I would definitely say that my experience is very similar to what Tashea mentioned. Before joining, I just kind of, logged into my classes, logged out, did my work and all that. But I think joining definitely helped me gain a sense of belonging and fellowship with my fellow students at Delaware County. Joining the New Media Lab was sort of a catalyst for me getting more involved with other parts of the college too. Like I joined PTK, which I probably wouldn't have done or gotten involved in if I had already grown from the New Media Lab. And it helped me get involved and interested in other opportunities on campus as well. And I think doing interviews with other parts of the college also helped me learn about new topics even outside of the scope of my classes. different interviews we've done. I think especially that is relevant to like the theater episodes that we've done. In high school, I never really understood theater, or like, I don't know, I guess I just never, oh yeah, I'm like interested in theater stuff. But I think just as one example, doing interviews with the theater department definitely helped me gain an appreciation for that part of the college. And I was like, whoa, this is super cool. And I just went to see the play the other night. And I think I probably wouldn't have gone and done that if I hadn't joined the New Media Lab and sort of put myself out there, found community, and then had other people to root for as well.
What I'm hearing from you is you found that college experience that everyone is trying to have. Clubs are a great way to accomplish that. And it's not something a lot of people go into a community college to do. Like that's something you do in a 4-year institution. That's the thing you see in movies and TV shows. That's not something everyone would think to do at a community college. But we have those opportunities, and it's given you so many chances to experience so many other new things on campus. And that's really amazing to hear from both of you, that you've been able to take these opportunities, put them in your repertoire, and experience new things that you wouldn't have been able to before, because that's what being in college is all about. And Raven, I know you said that the theater episodes were some of your favorite interviews that you participated on, but what else would you say that you worked on stood out to you the most?
I was thinking about this a little bit before we started, and there's a lot, honestly. Like, I can genuinely say I really enjoyed doing all the ones I did, but I think one where I sort of felt like I had found my footing a little bit was the This Must Be Heard episode 29, Introduction to College-Wide Reading. As far as I can recall, that was my first solo interview with someone from the college, and even though, like, I didn't do it perfectly, I think I was, I did okay on that. I can see my own improvement. So yeah, that was a good interview, and I just really enjoyed talking to the professor I interviewed, and the topic that we were talking about was interesting. So I would say that is another one that stands out to me.
And Tashea, what would you say was some of your favorite interviews that you participated in?
One in particular that stands out to me is when I got to interview Ann Binder and Kelly Kiefer from the Office of Disability Services. I am a student with disabilities. I'm actually legally blind, and the Office of Disability Services has played a big role in my success at the college as well. And so being able to interview them, first of all, it was nice to have a natural conversation because I already had good rapport with them. I conversed with them a lot already, but also being able to try to connect other students with the Office of Disability Services. It's scary enough to be a new student, starting on a new journey. But then when you kind of feel even more othered by the fact that you have, a disability or whatever it may be, in my case, a disability, it's even scarier. And as I said in that episode, it's hard for you sometimes to accept the extra support that's offered. And so it was really cool to be able to do an interview where I kind of helped other students that might be in my position to want to reach out to the Office of Disability Service to help them level the playing field in their education the same way the playing field has been leveled for me.
That's such a great answer. It's taking like a little bit for me to process because I struggle a lot with things, and I struggle a lot with accepting help. And I feel a lot of people tend to downplay their own issues and be like, oh, because this is something I've struggled with my whole life, I don't need outside assistance. But there are these things in place for us to be a little bit more at ease, have that college experience, and even out the playing field with other people who may not be struggling as much. So introducing that to other people who need it it's fantastic, really.
Yeah, it's great. It lifts a burden in a sense, and it was cathartic because it was a struggle that I have gone through, not just in college, but it was something I've been struggling with since middle school. So it was cool to kind of come to terms with that over the years and then be able to share that with other people. And that's part of what the New Media Lab is about. We connect with other areas of the college, and then we share our experiences, and we're able to connect with other students. I always think of us as like a connective tissue of the college in a sense. I feel like, with all the interviews and events that we've done, we're able to connect different parts of the college and bring people together through our experiences.
It's definitely a fantastic way of highlighting what the New Media Lab really is all about.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Thank you, Tashea. Our next question. So, Raven, what skills have you acquired that you can take with you to potential jobs and or further educational opportunities?
Number one, definitely without a doubt, I would say better verbal communication. I'm not a natural at it. And joining the new media lab, I think I found myself in situations where I had to talk to people on the spot a lot more frequently, and it helped me a lot in developing those communication skills. And it helped me learn how to, on the spot, make myself understood. And I'm still not perfect at it. I think people listening to this might be able to be like, oh, that girl's a little awkward. And like, yeah, but let me tell you, I was so much more awkward back in high school. I was the person who, like, my hand was shaking as I like raised my hand, and I had to end every sentence with, I hope you understood what I meant, because I didn't even understand what I meant. Now I only have to do that 25% of the time. So that for me is such a big improvement and honestly confidence booster to know that I can go up to someone and maybe actually communicate what I want to communicate.
But it's been cool to see you blossom in that way too. I can say too. It really has. See you like kind of come out of your shell and, you know, your growth throughout your different interviews. We've seen things come out of you. Like you said, you feel like you're awkward, but it served you. You found ways to use that to lighten the mood of different interviews. Like even I love interviewing with you, Raven, because you make me laugh and then smile, and it kind of diffuses the tension or like the anxiety, because you still have a little bit of it no matter how much you do this. It's been really cool to see how you've learned and adapted.
Well, thank you so much.
I am just loving this. I have goosebumps right now because I just feel the energy of the growth and the maturity in you two. And it's just like, it's so amazing. And I'm so honored to be interviewing you two and having this experience and just learning from you guys. So Tashea, what skills have you acquired that you can take with you to potential jobs and or further educational opportunities?
Definitely what Raven just said is a big one. Communication skills and public speaking. And public speaking, I think we all can say, is one of the scariest skills to cultivate. And what's cool about the new media lab is because we have to do so much hosting and speaking in our meetings, whether it's pre-production meetings or our general meetings, we wound up communicating so much that it becomes more and more natural over time. And so we've gotten more confident without even realizing it, and with such low stakes that it lowers the anxiety. So definitely public speaking and communication is a big one, on top of the, you know, organization and planning skills that we've also learned. I would also say training and succession planning is a big one. And then finally, I will say teamwork. I did not have positive feelings about teamwork prior to joining the NML, and it has totally flipped my feelings on teamwork.
Jumping in to say the teamwork thing is another thing I 100% agree with you on. Very much what you said. You didn't have positive feelings about teamwork before.
Yeah.
I can definitely agree with that, and agree with the fact that the new media lab has changed my view on it so much.
Those are very important skills to keep in mind for further endeavors. Thank you guys. So, Tashea, what advice do you have for new co-executive producers?
All right. Well, I have quite a few things, so bear with me. But I would definitely say learn as much as possible while you can. Like, this organization is such a great place to pick up as many skills as you can with very low stakes. You know, you're picking up things you don't even know you are sometimes. And this goes for all members. And if you try things that you're not sure that you would be interested in even, you may find that you picked up a skill that you love. Communicate as much as possible. Follow up as much as you can with your team, because that helps everything move very smoothly. And then finally, one of the biggest ones is, I would say, try to form a good support system with your fellow co-executive producers. Raven and Shonda, you guys have been the best to work with. It has been so great to celebrate each other's achievements. I think it's very good to form that support system with your fellow co-executive producers. It definitely changes your experience.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
That whole teammate bond, when you described it earlier about how you weren't open to that, I feel like when you're put into this position, other people kind of just grow on you like vines, and they just kind of wrap around you and they just start living on you. You can't avoid that. You learn teamwork along the way, even if you are adverse to it, and it
Mm-hmm.
opens you up, and you start learning the skills, like you said, to delegate, to be as organized as possible and be flexible, because you have these people to rely on. You have these people that you trust. And that's what I'm hearing that the co-executive producer position guides you through, being open to that trust and open to trying new things and wanting to help others along the way and encourage them.
Yes, definitely. I definitely feel it. And that's how I feel about you guys. Like, I kind of wrapped myself around you and just like, I'm your little child.
And not to mention the fact that you, Raven, have been such a driving force behind the scenes with our production. You know, you do so much of the editing and so much of the behind the scenes work that tends to be thankless, but you take so much of it on and you do it with humor and you get it done. And it's just, I really think of you like kind of like the backbone. You know, you don't necessarily think that is there, but boy, would you be a puddle on the floor without it. So it's just, you know, I definitely want you to know that you are also someone that we value greatly, because, you know, a lot of that stuff, the editing behind the scenes work doesn't get it. You don't get your flowers for doing that, and you should.
Well, thank you so much.
Alrighty. So, Raven, what advice do you have for new co-executive producers?
Okay, well, let's see. Basically, I would say ditto to everything Tashea said. And number one, I think, sort of again, Tashea had mentioned this, make sure you are communicating with everyone and ask for help if you need it, and make sure you're keeping other people in the loop. I think sometimes, especially when you're like going on a task, especially in like post-production, or it's really easy to just be like, I'm just gonna do this and like not tell everyone, and then I'm just gonna send them an email when it's done to be like, okay, it's done. Make sure you keep people in the loop with what you're doing. I think find a balance between keeping people informed that need to be informed and not asking permission for every little thing. On the sort of topic of balances between two things, I think also find a balance between holding yourself and others accountable for what they need to do, what needs to or should get done to, you know, produce an episode, and at the same time understanding your own and other people's natural human weaknesses. It's definitely a hard balance. Thinking is the first step to knowing.
No, I agree with that. Curiosity goes into thinking, and thinking goes into knowledge. Like I said earlier, what we've been highlighting this entire time too is the new Media Lab gives this low stake environment for us to scope out these things and build these life blocks and life skills that we can use later down the line. A lot of the times people don't know how to get that started, don't know how to talk to people, don't know how to try to delegate things or think outside the box, or a lot of people put pressure on themselves to keep deadlines, and we should keep deadlines, but we should also give ourselves grace in the fact that things are going to happen, and nothing is more chaotic than a production schedule.
Yes.
And having that space and hearing you guys talk about that with such passion and love and care of the fact that you were given that opportunity just, again, highlights what an impact this has made for you guys going forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I want all future co-executive producers to know to give themselves some grace. This is a learning process, and it is constantly a learning process. I have been part of the New Media Lab for a very long time, and I am still learning to this day. So give yourself grace and let yourself open up to these opportunities and to learning all of these different skills.
We are all beginners.
Yes.
Asking for help, staying organized, and communicating are all great advice. All right. So thank you, Raven and Tashea, for sharing your experience being the co-executive producers of the New Media Lab, and honestly just committing to something that gradually you loved. Knowing that you struggle with things, or having fear about different things in different aspects that you realize that you can grow with and you can learn along the way. So I appreciate you two for just sticking through it and and knowing that it's possible. And again, what Jaime just said, we are all beginners at the end of the day. And the greatest part of growth is just seeing your growth. So I thank you two so much for being here. Thank you, Jaime, for being my co-host for this episode. Do you two have any last words that you would like to say?
Yes, to all the future co-executive producers that I have met and have not met that, I may not even get the chance to meet, I would say open yourself up to this journey. It is an exciting journey, and I know I'm biased, but the New Media Lab is to me a one-of-a-kind experience. And I look forward to seeing, because I'm definitely going to keep in touch, keep track of what's going on, and I just look forward to seeing how everybody blossoms on their individual journeys. Just have fun with it, learn as much as possible, trust yourself, give yourself some grace, and know that you've got this. You have the potential, you have the capability, and you're going to do great things.
Hard to follow up. Just genuinely to everyone, you're gonna have awesome moments, you're gonna have not so awesome moments, especially with, stuff like this. You're gonna do awesome, you're gonna do not so awesome, and it's all okay. If you're trying your best, and you're trying your best to be a good person, a caring person, doing your best, the best that you can do in the moment, that's all you can do. You're okay. Just try your best. Live, laugh, love. Hit that bell, notification, subscribe, etc.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for this interview. And we're out.
You've been listening to This Must Be Heard, brought to you by the New Media Lab and the Office of Athletics and Campus Engagement. Today's hosts and producers were Shonda Stevens and Jaime DeKai. Our guests today were Tashea White and Raven Amaro. Our executive producers are Tashea White, Raven Amaro, and Shonda Stevens. Jaime DeKai and Sloan Glover edited this episode. Victoria Culbreth and Samuel Larson designed our cover art. Indigo Frazier composed our theme music. And I am Shonda Stevens, your announcer for this episode. Special thanks to the Director of Athletics and Campus Engagement, Allison Gleason, our Faculty Advisor, Professor Maria Boyd, and our Technical Advisors, George Doppin and Simone Mokum. If you have an interest in participating in the New Media Lab, contact the Office of Athletics and Campus Engagement or reach out to us on Instagram at DCCC_New Media Lab. Be sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Thanks again for listening.